Hey everyone, and welcome back to Daytime. We're very pleased to have joining us in the studio, I guess the first guest of this kind. We're talking about water heaters today and how important it is to your home. And we have Kevin Sterling, Executive Vice President for National Home Services. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, Kevin.
Well, you brought along some very interesting water samples and some examples as well on some photos that we're going to get to in a moment. But we're talking about water heaters today. So why don't we kind of talk about water heater, its functions, and why it's important to homeowners?
Well, water heaters it's one of those major appliances that people buy and they put in their basement and then they neglect. Or in our case, they rent from National Home Services.
Yes.
But like any other appliance, you can't just buy it, sit it somewhere for 15 years and neglect it. It does require some maintenance, and that's what's important to remember when it comes to anything like a water heater or a furnace or a washer dryer.
And is that kind of the conception with people, is that they don't really think about cleaning out their water heaters? They think, oh, we have it there, and just let the water sit there. Is that kind of a main conception for that?
Exactly. I mean, most people, they rent a water heater, they have it installed. As long as they can get their hot shower in the morning, they figure everything is good. But the important thing to remember is that you need to have a look at that tank, and the TSSA, which is the governing body for the water heater industry, they recommend at least every 5 years draining the tank, checking it, all the venting, and make sure that it conforms with the manufacturer's specifications.
That's a very good point. I mean, think about that, Peel Region. How many years has it been since you've cleaned your water heater? I mean, why don't you talk about some of the repercussions? What if people don't clean it every 5 years? What happens?
Well, what happens is, you know, the water is corrosive, and people don't realize that. So it starts to eat away at the inside of the tank, and that's why what you want to do is you want to get that water tank flushed. You want to have it maintained. You want to have it looked at by a trained professional to make sure that it is operating within the guidelines set out by the manufacturer. That's important for two reasons. Number one, it gives you optimum performance and saves you money in terms of your natural gas. And number two, it gives you clean hot water for things like bathing and washing your clothes and those types of things that we do every day.
The most kind of important things.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah, really. Exactly.
Okay, so I want to get to the samples that you brought along as well as some photos. So why don't we kind of hold up the photos first?
Sure.
Maybe you can tell us Kevin, what we're looking at right here. I can hold it up for you.
Sure. Well, here's what a brand new tank looks like. You can see nice and clean. It's got this piece coming down the middle.
That's a good start.
That's an anode. That's the way you want to start.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
And that's the way you want to keep it. Nice and clean. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody's enjoying a nice clean bath and optimum efficiency. What most people don't realize is that over 20% of your natural gas consumption is used by this appliance right here.
Wow.
So if that's not operating efficiently, it's costing you real money every month.
Okay, well that's a brand new tank. Why don't we take a look a few years down the line what it'll look like.
Here's a 10-year tank.
Okay.
And you can start to see the rust build up and the types of corrosion that's going on there, and actually brought a water sample from tanks that we've taken out of the GTA area. Well, I'll show you the final picture.
Sure.
So this is 10 years. So now we're seeing a lot of brown. We're seeing a lot of corrosion.
Exactly.
And deterioration is beginning, like, more or less.
Exactly.
So I guess the next year is what
well,
are we
here
looking at now?
you're at a 15-year-old tank, getting near the end of its useful life, and you know, most tanks will work efficiently if they're well maintained. They work efficiently 12 to 15 years.
So basically, what you're telling us is the water that goes through this tank goes into the showers that people are taking, pretty much, because the water source is here.
Correct.
So if your water tank looks like this, the water's coming from here into the showers and the clothing that you're washing.
That's right.
After 10 years.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's something
This
for
right
people.
here.
That's it.
Not this.
Not this. This.
Yeah,
no,
that's the.
This is kind of. This is funny. Kevin brought in some examples of some water removed from tanks.
Exactly.
Why don't we talk about this? What's this one I'm looking
Well,
at?
this is my classic. I'll leave this one till the end if you don't mind.
I'm jumping the gun.
Whenever we remove a tank, we like to show people exactly what they're gaining, the benefit they're gaining by installing a new a water tank. And this first sample is from it's just a 5-year-old tank. If you want to get a close-up on that.
Sure, yeah.
Gives you a good feel in terms of the type of sediment and the type of corrosion that's already going on.
That looks disgusting already.
It's
like
not looking great.
milk.
This is what we would drain. Our maintenance program includes every water heater that we rent includes a regular maintenance program for 15 years. So every 5 years we come in, we flush the tank, we check the anodes, we check all the gas fittings and those types of things.
And now you have one that's 10 years.
Yeah,
so let's take a look at the
This
difference
is an
there.
interesting one. This actually comes from Aurora, and they have slightly more, slightly harder water. And you'll notice in there that there's a lot of sediment backed up there after 10 years. So obviously this is a real problem.
That looks like a
for
science
somebody.
experiment gone bad, is what it looks like.
Well, you've got a lot of rust, a lot of calcium carbonate, some anaerobic bacteria potentially, maybe some residual effects of the anode breaking down.
Yeah.
And then this one here, which we say, believe it or not, this water here is older than the host of this show. So
Combined, I think, actually.
This water was taken out of a tank, a rental tank, that we removed from the GTA area that had been installed and being rented since 1967.
1967.
Believe it or not.
1967.
So that's a lot.
The year the Leafs last won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
basically, since that
this
time,
is old water.
that's how old the water
This is very old water.
Wow.
Amazing. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming in and kind of expressing your knowledge. So the last the last point you can express to our audience would be what?
Well, it would be if you haven't, and we did a survey actually, and over 65% of the people that we spoke with couldn't remember the last time they had their water tank flushed or maintained. So if you haven't done that, you call a registered professional to get that done, or give National Home Services a call. We'd be happy to install a new tank for you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for coming in. We have to take a break. When we come back, we're thinking about our city here on Daytime. Don't go anywhere.